Captain Alex here, bone collector kayak fishing. We're here at the kayak yard where I have all my boats, where I do all my maintenance, where I prep all my gear for my trips. Today we're going to do a quick rundown of what the ultimate setup is for fishing South Florida from Biscayne Bay, Florida Keys, Everglades. So we're going to go off my guide boat and then we'll take a quick peek at my client boats and hopefully some future boats that are coming in now too. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like the channel, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we're going to take a quick look. We're going to start off with my guide boat, which is a old school at this point. It is a big rig. It's 12.9, 37 inches wide. I do run a Torqeedo on the back. This is very paramount as far as how I get to and from. This has been a monumental change in the way I guide here in South Florida. We do have to cover a lot of water, so Torqeedo and my clients do make a huge difference. I usually run a crate through rod holders, and I usually either put a live well bucket in here, run a live well, or I put my camera gear in here. And then in the back I run all my tackle. So I got top waters in here, and I got mostly hooks, jigs, and some baits in here. And then this is just a leader box that I tied to the mole system in the back of the big rig seat. So all this right here is nothing but leaders. Give it a quick look. Nothing but leaders. So she's all leaders, some rod holders. Specifically why I chose this boat is because of the length and the width of this boat. It's very stable. I like to stand up a lot. It's very crucial in South Florida to be able to stand up a lot and be able to see your targets, since we're chasing down snook, tarpon, redfish, just about everything will be in shallow water. This boat is pivotal for that presentation that we're using. Secondly, wide boats do play a big factor as far as flying line management. I've learned the wider the boats, even if there's foot pegs, but the wider the boats, the less obstructions you have with a fly line. So I went with this model of boat just because of all the dimensions that I just spoke about. The hatch is key for guiding. I keep most of my stuff in here as well too. So I keep live well, a dip net to catch my bonefish, some extra lures, a lot of Savage Gear stuff seems to be working lately, especially in the backcountry. And then I got some ropes, some bungees, some tools that I keep in there. And then of course, I think anyone that's out there for a long time should have a pump. Then here I used a tackle web on top of the lid to maximize space. And I carry jig heads, some weights, some more leaders, a couple extra baits in here. And it's just an easy access to, can lift up the hatch, kind of open the hatch. I don't really have to open it up all the way, crack it. I crack the hatch and I can grab what I need real quick without having to make too much noise or cause too much commotion on the water. As far as seat goes, ultimate seat, I think everybody else has kind of followed suit in the industry. It's kind of standard now these days. Comfortable, easy to sit on. As you can see, I have worn down this chair. It's about a year old, but I've worn it down from all the sitting and moving around I've done on it. The floor has been changed. I like sea deck in my floor. It adds a little bit of dampening to the sound. It's just a little easier on the feet, but I've worn this deck down too. I think this is the third time I've changed the decking in the last about year and a half. So I've used just about every decking in the market, and I tend to wear it down. I like to run Yak Attacks rod holders that are in line with the kayak. I like to run Yak Attack rod holders, and I strap them down. I use simple bungees. Everything's just strapped down. Don't mind my son, he's back there causing a ruckus. second most crucial part of fishing here in South Florida is a push pull. I think it's probably the most useful or second most useful tool behind a Torqeedo, going to and from these locations. Besides a paddle, gotta have a paddle no matter what, and a life vest. Those are two key elements that you should have always on your kayak. But push pole, I will say it again over and over, I think a push pole is probably one of the most pivotal equipment that should be part of your repertoire fishing South Florida, especially flats fishing. Right now I need to update this push pole, but she's old. It used to be an Optimus push pole from Bending Branches. I tend to lean to Bending Branches. I think their products are really well. I haven't had any issues with them. This used to be 16 feet. We're at 13 feet now because I've broken it twice and I've kind of rigged it. I did feather down push pole, duck foot, and a point with a sander to get the right dimensions to fit a regular paddle sized pole. This is basically several ferrules, carbon ferrules put together to make a push pole. I do got to build another one, but I think this is one of the best ways to go about it. If you have the right tools, you can sand it down, finally get the right dimensions and seal it up, which I do need to do that again. I use a little JB Weld. It does wonders and it seals it up, but this is about like 5 years old right now. So as far as this setup goes, I think it's probably the most easy but yet intricate designs as far as for fishing the kayaks in South Florida, for red fishing, bone fishing, tarpon fishing, snook fishing, just about any type of fishing. It's comfortable. You have a lot of deck space. There's plenty of storage. You got stuff underneath that you could fish. You got the wells in the back where I usually tend to keep my batteries back there, and a couple extra life vests just in case on top of the one that I'm wearing. It's key to be less is more. So I think that's how I try to run my show, which I haven't had a problem with. So let's check out my client boats. So the current setup right now is a Malone. I have it set up to take 2 bites, which are my client boats. These are the bites. They're 11.9 or 11.7, I believe. I keep them bare. There's really nothing to them. Just a couple paddle holders and in-mount, flush mount, actually, rod holders. Nothing's changed. I haven't put any add-ons to it. I tend to keep my guide boats bare minimum, so it's easier for me to mold them and change them as we go for certain clients that requires something different from the norm. But for the most part, it's easy for clients to be sitting in here doing their business, catching fish, which is why they hire me. And it's easier for me to manage equipment, clients, gear, baits, and actual fish that come in the boat as well too when there's nothing on the boat. And it's easier for my clients to put their belongings as well too, and easy access for all my clients and for me as well too. And the back of these boats, I tend to put coolers, little Amazon finds. They're not bad. They hold water with a couple ice packs in there. They hold water for about 5 hours, which tends to be the length of my trips, about 5 to 6 hours. But I think seating, stability, and paddle worthiness of the boats are the three key elements that I like to pick when I'm guiding with clients. So these boats have been actually a great addition to my collection of kayaks, and I hope that kind of answers everything for you guys. I know there's a lot more to crunch in as far as everything goes, but for the most part, this is the basic, and I think this is the most ultimate setup that you could keep. Money can buy and time can buy as far as fishing South Florida. So like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It's new, we're growing. I should have more of these intro videos, how-tos, and I'm going to continue elaborating on stuff, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a comment, send me a message, email. bonecollectorkayakfishing.com is my website. My email's there, which is fishbigcatch@yahoo.com. Guys, I'm gonna cut it up, wrap it up. I gotta get ready for a charter tomorrow. We're gonna do a little bit of cuda fishing. Stay tuned. I got some stuff in the works for that. Should be some magazine stuff as well too, plus some more YouTube stuff coming up. And follow my Instagram. I post just about every day on that page. Kind of keep track of what I'm doing. You're more than free to answer or send me questions there too on that platform as well too. So guys, stay tuned. Hope you guys like the channel and the content.